Yep.
All right. All right, here we go. It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents, not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Welcome, Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Awesome new show this week. All kind of stuff going on. Some interesting numbers out from last month with the brand new market numbers out. And interesting to say the least, we saw a decline in condo sales down 21% last month. Residential sales down a little bit last month. We'll talk about that. Dig into the local numbers, and I kind of like look at what happened overall in the macro market here in the Myrtle Beach area. The good news is we saw a little bump back up in terms of new properties going to contract. Some great news with interest rates. We just hit a 1.5-year low this week on Friday for interest rates, which is bumping a lot more people back into the game. And so we'll talk about that. Lots of great stuff there. And also I had this on last week's show agenda, just didn't have time to get to. But Myrtle Beach housing market is set to thrive as rates fall. And it just breaks down that Myrtle Beach is ranked number 3 in the nation for having home sellers locked in with higher interest rates. And so as they get into the low 6s and even potentially to the 5s, that unlocks so many home sellers who are stuck based on interest rate to open up a lot of inventory. So that's good for buyers, good for sellers. If there's too much inventory, obviously, it can hurt sellers a little bit. But we'll talk about what that means and kind of what to look for over. Like I said, we just hit lowest rates in a year and a half, which is awesome news. We'll talk about what to expect in this new Fed meeting coming up on the 18th of this month. The numbers changed drastically on Friday based on some jobs numbers that were coming out. But the good news is right now, looking at 100% chance of a rate drop. Right now, the question is going to be a half point or a quarter point. And so we'll talk about what the data is on that, kind of what's happening overall. Also, we had some stuff on the list that we want to get to, how to prepare your house for home inspections. This little simple stuff to make sure you get a good ROI. A lot of people tend to not understand what home inspectors look for and also tend to fix or repair the wrong things. And so we'll kind of help you along with that. One thing we've been watching, though, is inventory has been climbing slowly. We just hit a new high in terms of active homes on the market in Horry County. We'll talk about what that means overall. And also our firm bought 2 more properties this week. At first for our firm, our fund, I bought a new construction property from a builder, independent builder, looking to reinvest that money somewhere else. Had it on the market before with an agent, and they just wanted an instant cash buyout, reached out to us, and we came in, gave them a very fair price, cash offer, and done deal. Super, super easy. And we'll talk about how easy that is overall. And you're seeing that start to happen more and more if you want more convenience and they want more simple ways to get things done. So we also have some amazing, amazing success stories. Our team's absolutely crushing it. And one thing, too, I haven't really talked about in a while is our team is hiring for our sales team. Top training, number 1 team in Myrtle Beach by double, growing like crazy. We've absolutely increased our marketing budget while most people are pulling back their marketing budget as looking to capture market shares. And we're looking for A-plus players that want to join our team. If you're not in real estate, we have a real estate school. We can get you a scholarship and help get you licensed and trained. If you're in real estate already and just struggling like a lot of agents are right now, we have the absolute best training in the industry, multiple coaches outside that will help. And we'll talk about that on today's show as well.
For any new listeners, just to give you an update on just who Blake is, it's an amazing story. Industry leaders have dubbed him the real estate whiz kid. Been featured in Forbes, Wall Street Journal, NBC, Realtor Magazine, and many other national publications. He has been personally endorsed by Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck. One of those by itself is an accomplishment, but all of them together is unprecedented. Last week, we learned a little about how you and your team work and how a good portion of your success has come from the trademark systems you have developed to help both buyers and sellers here in our market. Recap quickly for anyone new to the show what those are exactly and a quick overview of how they work, Blake.
Absolutely. And that's just the whole, like I said, reason why we do the show. It sounds kind of crazy if you listen every week to say it every week, but I still get the same problems every week. We had it happen multiple times this past week. People to ask the wrong questions, and it just shows they pick agents the wrong way. They don't understand the difference. And the number one mistake that anyone makes in the buying side or the seller side is they think that all real estate agents are the same. It could not be any further from the truth. It just happens over and over and over. And the problem is they view real estate agents as a commodity, and it couldn't be any further from the truth because it has to deal with humans, right? We're a service-based business. And so all the mistakes I see because happen because they just pick a random real estate agent, a friend of a friend, or somebody recommended so-and-so, or they want to go with the cheapest one. There's all these things you see. They never ask the right questions, right? They just ask who to use, or use my friend. She's part-time. She sold 2 houses last year. Like, that's the worst thing you can ever do when you're selling or buying your house, because there's so many nuances that make or break the home sale, and so many small, minute details that can cost you $20, $30, $40, $50,000 on the buy side and the sell side. And that's something that's very, very important. And so one thing I made sure I made a promise to talk about every week is that the single most important variable that determines your success or failure as a home seller comes down to one thing only. And that thing is the agent that you choose, period. Not the wall color, not the grass quality, not the time of year you sell. It comes down to how does the agent you have actually execute when it comes down to the variables. And what most people don't realize when you're selling a property, aka listing and selling your home, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, it puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. Anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball at any point, that's going to cost you your hard-earned equity you spent 20, 30 years to build. And I say that all the time. People spend 20, 30 years building their hard-earned equity, making mortgage payment after mortgage payment, month after month, only to spend 15 minutes picking an agent. And they ask all the wrong questions, and they end up giving up so much of their hard-earned equity and not even knowing it, because the agent's either desperate or doesn't execute or doesn't have a process in place. And so when I got into business, I realized, like, man, there's got to be a much better way. Everyone kind of operated the same. I was at Coldwell Banker at the time. That was really 20 years ago, coming up at the end of this year. And everyone was really kind of the same. There's 200 agents there. They didn't care about me. I didn't care about them. And it was dog eat dog, right? It's one of those things that no one really had any systems or processes in place. They're just kind of winging it. And all really agents did is they did the 3 Ps. They promised you the world to get the listing. They, number 2, put it to MLS. And 3, they prayed that someone else brought a buyer. And meanwhile, they're down the street trying to get the next listing. It was a very, very broken business model. Like, man, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so I sought out other coaches and mentors outside of real estate. And I was like, how do we take what people do outside of real estate and bring that into real estate with an actual business and systems and processes, so you can actually get a predictable result for our client on the back end? And that's exactly what I did. I designed this thing called the Guaranteed Sold System, the only proven system that sells homes twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. It's one of those things that I designed it, obviously exclusive to us. And so we're the only ones here that have that. I do license it to other parts of the country, but it's something that works phenomenally. That's how we sell properties faster and for more money. If you're on the buy side, guess what? There's 100 plus variables out there when you're buying too. It's a very dynamic marketplace right now based on interest rates, inventory, what's happening. And so you want someone who's truly very, very good at what they do and all the details. We have this thing called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. Get your party access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as the home inspection to get you that closing table successfully. But most people, they make the wrong mistakes. They ask the wrong questions, and all they really do, like, they'll call the office and say, hey, what do you charge? Well, they don't realize, hey, we have multiple packages. We're pretty much the same price as everyone else, but that's not the right question to ask. And it just shows they view everyone the same. And that could be true where most agents operate the same way. Most people are frustrated with their agent because they're not really doing anything different. But the reality is it's such a long sales cycle. It's just like any doctor, any lawyer, that has to do with humans, right? A service-based business. So if you have an attorney and someone sues you for all the assets you have, everything you worked your whole life for, you're not going to, number one, use their attorney. You want to use your own attorney. But number 2, you don't want just an average attorney who's only tried a few cases last year. You want the absolute best, most aggressive attorney who specializes in that type of law. And you should demand that same level of excellence when you're dealing with your largest asset. And so if you want to know more how it works, reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com. Anytime. We'll take a quick break, right back in a second.
There are issues that directly impact your family's future. Hey, your friend Sean Hannity here, and the same is true for your real estate transactions. Now, when you sell your home, you need to speak to one of the agents right here in town that will get you the most money with the least hassle. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, knowing the facts when you vote and when you sell your home is always important. That's why you should check out the value of your home in today's market. When you know the accurate value, you are better equipped to make an informed decision with all the options laid out for you. You know, options like an instant offer, or lay out your timeline and take advantage of their guaranteed sale program, or just put it on the market and get more money than you expected. Just go to the website, find out your home's value in seconds. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at BlakeSloan.com. That's BlakeSloan.com. And get your home's real value in today's market in just seconds, and then you can start packing.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corbett. I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. You offer several options for home sales, which really takes away the stress.
That's right. For sellers in a time crunch, you can agree to sell it by a certain date, take cash for home, or even rent it.
That's great. And if the seller has a bit more time?
Use our proven marketing plan and sell it for the highest price.
Work with my friend Blake Sloan. Have our home sold on your terms.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Brand new market update, all kind of stuff going on right now. We'll talk about the very dynamic market. It's very interest rate driven right now. And it's also two different directions we're seeing. We saw a little pickup here recently the past couple of weeks due to rates going back down. We saw lots of people jump back in who were on the sidelines. But we also see what closed last month. And again, there's two types of numbers you always want to watch in the show. Number one, what closed last month. That's what we call the rear view mirror numbers. And so if they closed last month, you got to keep in mind that if they went under contract 30 to 60 days prior to that. And so in some cases, you're making decisions based on data that's 3 months old. And so you want to look at both. And so the other data we look at is what we call our windshield data, which is what's happening in real time, what's going under contract in the last 7 days. We keep that pulse literally every single morning in my office. We go over it in the morning huddle. I track it every day in a spreadsheet. We've been doing that since COVID-19 started because we were trying to figure out what was going on. I need to have better data to make better decisions in terms of marketing and sales and what to do. But ultimately what happened was it became a huge advantage for our clients because I had a real-time pulse on what's happening. And so if I saw week by week we were up, or the past 3 weeks we were up, I could be more aggressive in price and get more money in our client's pocket based on data that no one else had. And so we keep that in-house, track it every day in-house. But looking at what we call the windshield numbers, what winter contract last 7 days, a little bit slower. It's a 7.5% decrease week over week, only because we had the holiday. We had Labor Day weekend. And so there's a lot of times on Monday, people just weren't looking at properties. The showings were down a little bit. And you'll see that cycle back through. For next week's show, I pretty much guarantee you'll see that bump back over 500. So in the last 7 days, 480 homes under contract for $171,981,000. So basically close to 200 million is where I always want to be right now into this July, August, September marketplace. Not a whole lot of high-end homes actually went under contract the last 7 days. Only one at $2 million in Myrtle Beach, multifamily. 7 properties at $1 million or more under contract in the last 7 days. 76 properties over $500,000 under contract. And there's right now a new record since we've been tracking this really the past few years is 1,382 active single-family homes on the market in Horry County that are resale homes. We started tracking this in COVID. It used to be 300 homes. And so it's slowly gone up week by week. Last week's show, 1,366. Week before that, 1,294. And so week before that, 1,274. So you can see it slowly creep up. If you go back just to last week's show, there's 519 properties for 190 million. And overall, you're kind of just seeing it hover in the 200 million range right now. But last week, there's a bunch of properties over 1 million, 14 properties over 1 million, there's 2.45 million, 3.6 million, lots of big stuff happening last week, but you'll see this cycle back through. So in other words, still pretty healthy. I think you're going to see that bump up like crazy. Both of my real estate coaches are also saying that you're about to see a harvest come through as rates go back down. And right now we're looking at 100% chance of a rate decrease from the Fed on the September 18th meeting. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Let's take a look at the rear view mirror numbers. What closed last month? That's what everyone uses, what appraisers use. Pretty much most realtors use that. And so it's great to keep a pulse of that. Last month, single-family sales were down 1.2% from the same month last year. So if you go back to August, and these are fresh numbers right out the gate really from last month. Last month, there was 480 homes that sold versus last year in August, there was 486. So down just a few, 1.2% decrease. Prices, overall price holding fairly strong, up 1.6% year versus year for median price, which is not great if you're talking about 12 months difference. Right now, 376,000. The only challenge is in May, we peaked out at 405,000, then June 385, July 379, and right now 376. So really a 3-month plus decrease in home prices. If you look month versus month, it is seasonal. It does bounce around a little bit. If you look at the trend the last 3 months, it has declined from 405 to 376. That's something we'll keep watching overall. Average sale price up 2.3%, which is good from last year. Right now it's 493,000 $898, and it did bump up a little bit month versus month. So last month in July, $477, right now $493, which is great. The average sale price, though, also here in Myrtle Beach, did peak out in May at $520,000. So that's something we'll keep watching. It has declined the last few months. It did bump back up a little bit based on what's selling, what areas. And obviously, that's something you want to break down per neighborhood, which we do for all of our clients. We can easily do for you, too. Anytime you want to go to blakesloan.com, get free information there, a portal you can watch all your assets on, and super powerful. One thing that's driving prices right now is inventory. It is up again. Right now, it's 4.3 months of inventory. It's up 38% from the same time last year, and it has crept up. If you go back to just even 2022, there's 1.0 months of inventory. It's slowly crept up right down to 4.3 months. The good news for home sellers, it's still a seller's market. Anything 6 months or more is a buyer's market. And so great news there overall. One of the biggest challenges that we're seeing right now has been buyer traffic. It's been down significantly. So buyer traffic right now, meaning how many showings are listings getting? Showings per listing right now is down 25% from the same time last year. And so that means the average listing in the MLS for a resale home, showings are down 25%. The average listing right now is getting 3.6 showings per listing. Now, what's the problem with that? I mentioned this before, but the average amount of showings it takes to get a contract right now is 13.1. So a massive gap there, 3.6 to 13.1. You need 3+ times the amount of showings that the average listing's getting in order to get a contract, which is why you're seeing so many properties on the market and so many properties are expiring, really to the point of almost 50% of properties. Almost 50% of properties right now are sitting on the market through their listing term and not selling, and then at that point have to relist or go with a different agent. And most time it has to do with two things. And one is marketing. Is it getting the right exposure and differentiation? That goes back to earlier of like why your agent matters. When the market was super hot 2022, any idiot could sell a house as an agent. They could get their cell phone, they take some photos, and that's what you were seeing happen. Now the market shifted, it's a lot more soft, and you need somebody who can really market, understand marketing, differentiation, and really have a sales team behind it that pushes it, which I like because you actually have to be good. And so we'll talk about that, kind of what's happening with that going forward. Closed sales for condos. I want to talk about them because it's very interesting. Closed sales for condos down 21% from the same time last year. We've seen condos take a major beating really the last 9-10 months. We've seen a massive increase in insurance, massive increase in special assessments. Multiple reasons behind that. A lot of insurance carriers have basically dropped the area. They don't even they don't cover the area anymore, and so you can find a new carrier. There's only a few carriers, and I might have an insurance guy on our show. We were talking about this recently, where we saw one HOA, their general liability for the HOA went up 1,200%. It's one down in Myrtle's Inlet, near Watchtower, but we have a house in there right now, and the liability for the entire neighborhood went up 1,200%, which is crazy. And so we're seeing this happen across the board for many of that. So a lot of people are dumping their condos with that. And there's more expenses, more HOA stuff. We also have seen a lot of insurance companies are going back. They're hiring third-party appraisers to go back and reappraise the building as values have gone up very quickly. And all of a sudden they're finding they're underinsured. So they're making them increase that amount of insurance on top of increased insurance rates, which is creating a really chaotic situation for a lot of condo sellers right now. So prices decline for condos. Average price down 2.5% year versus year at $278,000. 9.7% median drop for condo prices, which was a little bit shocking to see that significant of a drop. Right now, $228,000. So the median price for condos in the last 12 months has dropped 10%. If you look at the summary right there, which is something to watch. Inventory also continues to climb through the roof. Inventory for condos right now is up 86.1%. At 6.7 months of inventory, meaning it's a very, very strong buyer's market. There's a lot more inventory, aka listings, than there are buyers. And that's just what you see anytime you cross that 6 months of inventory overall threshold. And the same thing there. Showings right now for condos has been very, very difficult, very low. Showings are down 41%. So only 2.1 showings per condo is what you're getting on average. The problem is it takes 9.7 showings to get a contract. So you need a 5x increase in traffic than what the average listing's getting. And so if you had a condo in the market recently, or the reason it's not selling is just not getting enough showings for the amount of buyers to see it. It's all numbers games. You watch this, business long enough. We track every metric. We do this a long time. So thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of houses. And we just noticed when looking at the numbers, there's just a certain amount of I can't sell your house, right? I can't force a buyer to buy. But what I can do is be very good at marketing and drive lots of eyeballs to your property so we get the right buyer in there who likes it and loves it and pulls the trigger. And a lot of people make this mistake of thinking when you go in the house, you can say a lot of things and ask certain questions, but you know in 2 seconds if a buyer likes it or not. And so most time our job is I'm really a marketer in the real estate business, and that's my forte. And so as I market, I get the people there, and then that point, the house has to kind of sell itself, right? You walk through, show them the cabinets, the carpet. They know a closet's a closet, right? You can show it, and obviously we do that in a very professional way and answer questions. But the key way to fix that is you just want more eyeballs, more people looking at it, and that way you increase the chance that somebody likes it, they walk in the door. And that's where a lot of people make mistakes, is not having the right traffic. So that's something we'll continue to watch overall with that. One thing that's going to be obviously key to that is interest rates. And great news this past week on Friday, rates hit a 1.5-year low, year and a half low. Rates for a 30-year fix were 6.35%, which is awesome. A 15-year fix rate in the fives, 5.85%. A 30-year jumbo loan, 6.55%. A 30-year FHA loan, 5.72%. And a 30-year VA loan, 5.75%. And so that's going to be interesting to see. We had some interesting data come out on Friday. Is a little bit conflicting. And so that was some huge stuff in terms of the jobs report. And it just kind of the CNBC article code says August payroll grew by less than expected at 142,000, but unemployment rate ticked down to 4.2%. So if unemployment would have been a little bit higher, we automatically see rates go down because it increases chances that Fed reduces rates by half point. So we watch this thing real time. We use it, calculates it. Right now, there's a 100% chance that rates will be dropped by the Federal Reserve on the September 18th meeting based on a lot of Wall Street data. And the big difference of the question has been, hey, is it going to be a quarter point reduction or a half point reduction? And right now, this morning, when that data came out, it kind of hurt the bond market a little bit, kind of hurt us. Based right now, you're looking at 75% chance for a quarter point deduction, and you're looking at a 25% chance right now for a half point. We were hoping that was much more. It used to be right around 50-50 as of yesterday. And so we'll keep watching, see what happens. Overall, we expect rates to probably climb down a little bit. So that's something we'll keep watching overall. What we're going to see, though, when that happens is you're going to see a very unique fall market. A lot more buyers who are very interest rate driven right now, which the entire marketplace is interest rate driven, are on the sidelines watching rates, because as rates go down, it's more affordable for them. They can see more things, and they also have availability to sell what they have because they were locked in at a lower rate. And so as that gets into the fives, expect the market to get much more hot, I guess you say, and you're going to see it be a much more hot fall than usual based on what everyone's seeing right now. And so if you're thinking about selling, right, you want to probably do that sooner rather than later. You want to make sure you take advantage of this fall market. Myrtle Beach has a very, very good fall market. This time of year is very good for us because we see a lot of people come in who avoid the crowds. They've been looking to buy, they're stalking properties, and typically they have a lot of money when they do so. And so if you're thinking about selling, get that in order, get the ball teed up so when everyone starts swinging here as rates go down later this month, that you have everything in place. If you want to know more or have any questions, you want to walk through your specific strategy yourself, call me. I'm available all the time. My team's available all the time. 843-808-SOLD. And one thing, too, we have a tool online. You get an instant cash offer. Your online tool for your home evaluation for all the properties you own is free. There's no hassle at all. It's at blakesloan.com. Just type your address in. Lots of great information. We'll take a quick break, right back in a second.
Hey, WRNN listeners, Clay Travis here. As investors in real estate, Buck and I both know exactly what to look for to find the agent with the best tools and marketing to get the highest sales price possible for a home.
Totally true, Clay. If you're in Myrtle Beach, that agent is our friend Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. If you need to sell a home and buy a new one, ask Blake.
Yeah, the insurance, he got way out of hand.
It's crazy.
Sell your home at a price and deadline you agreed to or buy.
Oh, 100%.
I told Greg, get me, I said, y'all gotta get
And
animals.
for how much.
They won't do anything about it.
Without worrying
You know
about
what
getting
his
stuck.
excuse was?
What?
happened with Doug?
Yeah, because it's all politics, man. But I got some insight on that.
So when you are looking to sell and buy, he is your guy. Read nearly 750 five-star reviews by Googling Sloan Realty Group. Give Blake a call today and start packing. That's Sloan Realty Group.
And tune in to Blake's shows Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 11:30 a.m.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaMox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts. When I'm moving on,
About 4 minutes. A little over 4 minutes.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask. Thank
I
you.
won't hit the bed until about 20 seconds.
Perfect. That's how I like it.
It's time to sell their home. If you're moving on
You want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service.
That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group
Market your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Hot buyers alert. My team and I are working the ridiculous amount of home buyers here in the Grand Strand, Myrtle Beach area, looking about properties here. Really the whole Grand Strand from anywhere from $250,000 to $4.4 million. If you're thinking about selling, reach out, call us immediately, 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. One thing I do on this show for years and years and years, I started like, look, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Everyone else promises all these things. We're outspending the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. I get that question all the time. How do you do that? Well, our business model is very unique. We have a team model. It's really a hybrid with a brokerage. And so we have a team of specialists. We have 35 plus agents. A lot of those are what we call buyer experts. And so all day long, every day, we're getting leads from all across the globe because we're spending tremendous amounts of money. I mentioned in a previous show, last month we spent over $95,000 just in marketing, where most agents don't even make that in a year, much less spend that marketing in one single month. And so right now, the active amount of home buyers we have, they're looking for property here in the Grand Strand that have a username, password account, 77,544 active home buyers, and 77,544 active home buyers. What does that mean to you if you're thinking about selling? What it means is we have this thing called buyers in waiting, where most agents, you hire them, they don't have really any buyers in waiting because they don't have a huge marketing budget. They have a few buyers here and there. So they don't start marketing your property until you actually get on the market. They put the sign in the yard, then they pray someone comes and buy it. Then they put it in MLS and hope someone has to do it, that they'll come do it. Well, here we have 77,544 active home buyers, and we make 16,000 phone calls a week. And so all day long, every day, our team is hunting, and they're incentivized to bring their buyers to your listing because I'm in business to make money. And so if I get both sides of that commission, guess what? That's more profitable for us. And I align that with our business model to make sure that they hustle and push, because I'm in it to win it, right? You hire us for one reason, which is to sell the property, not just put it in MLS. And so that's what makes us so much different. Like right now, I got Lauren and Kim from Matthews, North Carolina. I got Jason from East Elmhurst, New York. I got Stephen from Miami Beach, Florida. I got Derek Wells from Pembroke, North Carolina. Belmore, New York. Massapoca, New York, somewhere up there. I got some crazy names right here. Lock Sheldon Drake, New York. We got Lancaster, South Carolina, Westminster, Maryland, all over the place, right? And so if you're thinking about selling, we have buyers in waiting. Reach out, call us, 843-808-SOLD. A friend, relative, aunt, uncle. If you think about, they're thinking about selling, have them call us. That means more in the world. Really quick, couple quick success stories. Mark's father passed away recently, and left him and his sister a condo in Myrtle Beach. They listed a property, different agent, didn't have one single offer for 6 months. Feeling defeated, Mark didn't know what to do. Thankfully, Mark's brother-in-law, Tom, heard about us and our guaranteed sold system from a past client of ours, told Mark to call us. We met with the entire family, shared exactly why the property didn't sell because it wasn't marketed properly. I came in, we showed them exactly what we do, how we get the property sold. They were blown away by the difference. I came in, designed a custom plan, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, virtual walkthrough, drove massive traffic, had it sold within 10 days. Previously 6 months, no action, same exact price. And so that's the difference in marketing, what happens when you have someone behind that. Now they can move on and put maximum equity in their pocket. Also, John owned a townhouse in Myrtle Beach. Recently decided it was time to sell it, so him and his fiance could buy, Market Common. So him and his fiance could buy a house together. She was moving down. He had to sell the exact same time. He was very concerned that it had to be done by the deadline, but he needed a certain amount of money. Thankfully, he reached out to us, saw the billboards. We came in, designed a custom plan, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, drove massive traffic. And he had previously talked with investors. Check this out. We got under contract for $50,000 more than the highest investor he talked to was willing to pay for him. So coming that way, we had it sold within a matter of days, easy for him with $50,000 extra dollars in his pocket. So if you want to get like that, reach out, call us, 843-808-SOLD. I mean, we see this every single week. People give their hard-earned money away because they don't hire an expert, or they nickel and dime it. They step over dollars, pick up pennies. Don't do that. Reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD, blakesloan.com. We'll see you back here same time next week.